In the Brookfield, Ohio jail, that is Jennifer Miller.
I don't need to go in there.
You do.
With that police throw in the cell, Miller has been knocked unconscious. Here's a ceiling camera view. Following this incident, Miller filed a federal lawsuit accusing police of excessive force and violating her constitutional rights. Now, the police are paying up. As the headline says, settlement reached in Brookfield excessive force case. Miller, a Brookfield resident, originally sought $1 million in compensatory damages plus punitive damages, citing physical injuries, emotional distress, and legal and medical expenses. The lawsuit also claimed Brookfield Township failed to properly train officers on arrest procedures and use of force. Miller requested court-ordered policy changes to prevent future misconduct. All of this began in November 2023, just after 11 o'clock at night, when Miller was pulled over.
You already know I'm up. You know that.
I
know.
could tell.
Police arrested her for operating a vehicle while intoxicated and brought her to the police department.
Stop.
I'm not done nothing to you.
Go in there.
When Miller refused to go into the cell, Officer Cody Dean threw her to the floor.
I don't need to go in there.
You do.
Miller filed a formal police complaint against Officer Dean. The police department then conducted an internal investigation and cleared him. The police found the incident was a combination of, quote, Miller's intoxicated state, resistance to entering the cell, and the officer's one-handed pull and push contributed to the fall and injury. The internal report also stated she was wearing what appeared to be a high-heeled boot with a glossed heel, which would have added to her feet coming out from under her. With police blaming the tumble in part on Miller's footwear, the Ohio woman then brought a federal civil rights lawsuit. She said she had been shoved to the ground in a martial arts-style throw, knocking her unconscious. According to Miller's lawsuit claim, she was not behaving aggressively, nor did she pose any threat to the officer. It says she suffered substantial physical pain, loss of daily function, mental anguish, emotional distress, injury to reputation, and incurred substantial costs, including legal fees and medical treatment and fees. Some or all of these injuries may prove permanent. The settlement and payout by the Brookfield, Ohio police has not been publicly disclosed. However, legal experts said Miller had a strong case. According to settled law and court rulings, police are not allowed to use force to take a suspect to the ground unless that person poses an imminent physical threat to themselves, a witness, or the police. Furthermore, the courts have ruled that saying no to a police officer's instructions about going into a cell or a police car or any form of custody does not justify physical force. The Brookfield Police Department and its chief Aaron Kazowitz are not talking about the settlement with Miller. A year ago, after the internal police investigation cleared Officer Cody Dean, Chief Kazowitz acknowledged that officers are required to handle prisoners with a respectable manner and with due care. The chief added that Officer Dean may not have handled the prisoner with due care. However, it is our belief that he was following policy. The chief also said, "We've never had an incident like this in our holding area. The intent of the officer was not to cause her harm, and it is a tragic accident, and we are going to do what we can moving forward to assist with making sure this doesn't happen to anybody else." According to a department press release from 2024, the department is now keeping handcuffs on prisoners until they get into the holding cell instead of outside or in the waiting area. Also, the police department apparently looked at installing different flooring in the booking area to, quote, keep from slippage. With all due respect to the Brookfield Police Department and Chief Aaron Kazowitz, here's an idea. Have all of your officers engage in de-escalation training and teach your officers the law. Throwing anybody to the ground because they mouth off or say something you don't like is outrageous. The courts have long held that everybody, even prisoners, have a right to tell an officer to do that thing that is anatomically impossible. If a cop can't handle verbal insults and quickly chooses physical force, that person should not be a police officer. Period. Let a judge and jury decide if somebody is resisting or engaged in obstruction, and then the court can decide if a punishment is warranted. But police, just because they are frustrated, are not entitled to throw somebody to the ground and knock them out. And in this case, the Brookfield, Ohio Police Department is lucky that Jennifer Miller didn't get more seriously hurt and cost the department even more money in a financial settlement. And by the way, Most police departments do not pay the financial settlements themselves. They carry insurance for cases like this. However, the taxpayers pay for the police insurance. And you can bet that insurance premiums being paid by the city of Brookfield, Ohio, have now gone up dramatically. In any case, kudos to Jennifer Miller for having the courage to take on the local police. Miller pleaded guilty to operating a vehicle while intoxicated, the initial reason she was arrested. She paid a fine and had her license suspended for a year. In other words, she took responsibility for her actions. And that seems to be more than the Brookfield Police Department has done. Because while the police have paid to settle the excessive force case, they are still refusing to take any public responsibility or publicly admit they did anything wrong. By the way, police in Florida have now been slapped with a $10 million lawsuit for arresting the wrong man in a Walmart store.
Where are you taking him?
Wants you trespass as well, so let's go.
For what? For grocery shopping?
In the Spring Hill, Florida Walmart, that man being arrested is Tony Nagwin. His crime? Shopping while Asian. Moments earlier, Walmart protection specialist David Pettigrew mistakenly thought Nagwin was this man, Cody Vonderland.
There's an Asian male in the store right now. His name is Cody Vonderland. He is trespassed from the store. He is not allowed to be here, and he also tends to be violent and carries weapons.
Moments later, Hernando County Deputy Michael McNeely arrived and placed Nagwin under arrest. Nagwin's girlfriend, Lauren Caldwell, started recording.
That was like 10, 15 years ago.
What are you talking about?
There's no limit on that.
We are grocery shopping. What are you talking about?
You're trespassing from the store. You're not allowed to be here, alright?
It said
Let
10,
him
15
go.
years ago.
Let's go.
Where are you taking him? What the?
Record him right there. Look, record him too. That fat guy.
What is going on?
He a cop too.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Where are you taking him? Where are you taking him?
It's all right.
No, it's not. Where? Oh my God! I cannot believe you're doing this.
Why
Where are
pulling me,
you
though? I'm
taking
walking with you.
him?
Why are you pulling me, sir?
Where are you taking him?
Why are you pulling me? You don't have to pull me. You know I'm disabled, right? I have back issues. You don't have to pull me, sir. You don't
Let
have
go
to,
of
look,
him.
You don't have to pull. I'm walking with you. You don't have to
Let
pull
go
me.
of him.
I'm letting you know right now I have back issues. All right. I'm walking, so I don't know why you're pulling me, sir.
Nagwin was complying with Deputy McNeely, who was leading him outside to a police cruiser.
You should be ashamed of yourself. I cannot believe you're doing this. Where are you taking him? What? Oh my God.
At no point did Deputy McNeely ask Nagwin his name or seek an identification card like a driver's license.
I cannot believe you're doing this. You should be ashamed of yourself. I need the keys.
Step away.
Hold on.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Rhonda, who wrote, "And to think a simple question such as, 'Let me see your ID,' could have avoided a $10 million lawsuit." Indeed. I look forward to reading your comments about the Brookfield, Ohio police settling a lawsuit after engaging in excessive force. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.